Welcome back, everyone, to the High Tempo Sports Podcast, episode 118. We are back this week for a regular episode.
Yes, sir.
And before we even get into it, Tuck staying.
I was going to make a joke before you got through there.
Well, I beat you to it.
Beat me
what was
to
your
it.
joke?
Your favorite casuals are back. Your favorite casual sports fans are back.
We are back, casual sports fans. Mel Tucker, MSU head football coach. Let's quit with the LSU USC talk because he signed, or he technically hasn't signed it yet. I guess they just said like they're going to
extend him.
Yeah, he's going to sign an extension, 10-year, $95 million extension for Mel Tucker. He's going to be the highest paid coach in the Big Ten, which is pretty crazy. And
it is wild.
With some top coaches. I mean, like even Ryan Day is a very highly paid coach. Obviously, Jim Harbaugh. But yeah.
It's the fact that he got 10 years. Like,
I know.
You really got to be confident in his ability.
Because, I mean, he's only had 2 years here at MSU. But I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
because
you can't be upset.
I'm not going to be like, oh, I wish it was 6 years. Because I just am happy he's locked up. Like, if he sucks in 4 years,
I mean, you can still end the contract.
Yeah, you still have to pay him.
Yeah, but like it's everybody else is paying him. They got like three mysterious
he's the
donors.
best coach in the Big Ten, though, so he deserves to be the highest paid coach.
Questionable, but respectfully disagree. I mean, I'm not saying Jim Harbaugh's better because he isn't. Just isn't.
But it is. Is it coincidental that Mel Tucker gets this extension the week of the Ohio State game, most important game of the year? Because it's kind of, I don't know if I like that move though, because
you kind of want to see how
high
he performs.
expectations. I mean, it's not like they wouldn't have extended him if they lose this game, but it's like
maybe
you know the
memes
years. That are gonna come out if State loses to Ohio State. You know, like look, they paid this dude, you know, and they
just
get
to
killed.
lose to Ohio State every year.
But it's also get a motivation, like he just got paid. Let's show him why he got paid.
Yeah, I hope. I'm rooting for go MSU this week.
Well, honestly, you probably don't want to root for MSU this week.
Yeah, facts. Actually, high key.
But like,
they do need to lose.
I mean, State kind of has to lose if Michigan has any chance. But like, how hard? That's so hard to root for Ohio State.
I don't want to sit there and be like, go Ohio State.
Just whatever happens.
Yeah.
I'm so mad that it's at noon because I'm not gonna be able to watch it. I mean, I'm gonna like watch it as much as I can, but I can't just like be with the boys watching.
Yeah, exactly.
Which really sucks.
I mean, I'm gonna probably get out of work early. Just like I'm gonna be like, hey. There's a game I gotta go catch right now.
He probably knows that there's a big game.
Yeah, so. he'll probably want to do it too.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll be sitting. My
You're
dad
out
will
of
be
there
sitting
by
there.
11.
Yeah, exactly. He'll be like, close shop. Big game today.
Bit too big of a game to be open. All right, so let's hop right. I guess we did just hop right into it, but continuing with extensions, Michigan head basketball coach Juwan Howard gets a 5-year extension. I don't know the dollar amount.
Me either. I didn't see one.
Down. I didn't either. But he got a 5-year extension. That was pretty expected to happen. He has been very successful.
Pretty awful timing.
Yeah.
Right after a huge loss to Seton Hall.
Gets extended. That's why the Mel Tucker one is back. Maybe it's karma.
Yeah,
or not karma, it's just a curse.
It's just a curse. Do not extend your coach before any game.
Yeah,
extend him in the offseason.
Wait till the offseason.
But
yeah, Michigan extends Juwan Howard and then gets upset by Seton Hall last night by 1 point. I know you didn't get to catch this game at all. Did you go back and rewatch any of it?
No, I haven't.
It was a very close game pretty much the whole time. I didn't watch most of the second half. I watched the beginning and the end of the second half. In the first half, though, Seton Hall, I mean, they're a good team. Like they're definitely not some like scrub of a team. I noticed because there's these Gavitt games, or I think that's what they're calling them, the Big Ten versus the Big East. The Big Ten is 0-6 so far in the Big Ten versus Big East sequence we're having this week.
Holy moly.
MSU is going to look to be the first team to get a dub. They're playing Butler tonight, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Michigan loses by 1 to Seton Hall. Seton Hall's big man is very, very good. He's a transfer, had a lot of blocks in this game. But Michigan has 8 turnovers in the last 12 minutes of the game. A lot of costly fouls. Devontae Jones misses 2 late free throws, and a tough first loss for Michigan.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially this early in the season. You know, you don't expect as the number 2 team in the country, number 2 ranked, to lose before conference play unless you're playing a huge opponent. And Seton Hall, no disrespect to them, they're not a big time opponent. They're not one of those schools that you think, oh, you know, this team, you got to watch out for these guys. Granted,
they're usually
every year
solid,
they're pretty solid, but like
it's definitely not a game
number
that you go
2.
into. I think they're number 3, but it's not that big of a deal.
What do you? Oh, were they number 3?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder how far they're gonna drop though. Honestly,
probably
because
pretty far.
Seton Hall's an unranked team. I mean, that's I want. Are they gonna drop out of the top 10? Probably, right? Maybe like 11 or 12.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they dropped
Right
too
outside.
far.
Because
Yeah.
like Texas, they lost to Gonzaga and they were 5 and they dropped to like 7 or 8. So
Yeah, and we're definitely behind Texas now.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way we're
and
in front of them.
Villanova, they lost to UCLA and they were number 4 and they are number like 6 or 7.
Yeah,
So.
but UCLA is cold. The
Yeah,
same thing with
exactly. And that
Gonzaga.
game went to overtime
Yeah,
too. Yeah,
same
so
thing with Gonzaga.
That's what I'm saying. So like they didn't fall very far, but
Yeah, Michigan will probably fall a decent amount.
and
but
Seton
don't
Hall will
get too
probably be
discouraged.
ranked as well too.
Yeah.
I mean, they have yet to lose so far this year, and they just got a huge win. So
Absolutely.
next thing on the news, the Staples Center.
Yeah,
is
what,
no
dude?
longer going to be the Staples Center on Christmas Day. It will be changed to the Crypto.com Arena.
This is the biggest L since, like, actually, low-key, never mind. I was going to say something, but I shouldn't say it. But this is a huge L. The Staples Center is, like, one of the most iconic sports stadiums in the world. There's probably only baseball stadiums in front of it, in all honesty. And then, like, the Big House.
And like Madison Square Garden.
And Madison Square Garden, yeah.
As far as basketball stadiums go, it's definitely second.
Yeah.
I don't know though. Like Rupp Arena, Kentucky, or like what's Duke Stadium?
I
forget
mean,
what
if
it's
you
called.
can't know the name, it's not more
No, I
iconic
know.
than
I
Staples
literally I
Center.
know what their stadium is called. I just have to really think about it. Okay, I can't.
Anyways,
I'm gonna think.
the Staples Center, like, you just can't. I don't get it. It's like one of the most historical names in sports.
Yeah.
That'd be like Wrigley Field turning into Instagram.
Yeah, and it's just
Like Instagram Field.
Instagram Park.
Yeah, like
it's
what?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's such a like a sell. I mean, obviously every stadium is called like it's a sponsored thing. Like, that's how all of them are. But just to change it in the middle of the season too, that's the weirdest part. And for some reason, I thought that the Clippers were like building their own arena. I thought that was a thing when Steve Ballmer bought the team, that they were gonna build a new arena. So
I thought it was like across the road.
right. So
was
the
like the whole
Lakers
thing.
could have their own, and then the Clippers could have their own. I thought that was gonna be the thing, but I guess not. I guess the Crypto.com Arena is. Why does .com have to be like?
It's just so corny. What if cryptocurrency
Why can't it just be the Crypto Arena?
What if it isn't like a big thing in 10 years? I'm assuming it will be.
Probably will
Let's
be.
say it will be.
But like, is Staples a big thing right now?
No, I guess. I guess. And Staples is such a random company.
Yeah, I know.
To own the Lakers
yeah, exactly,
stadium.
yeah.
But, like, I didn't know the Kings played there. I had
At Staples
absolutely
Center?
no clue. Yeah.
Like right now?
That's what it said.
No, they
That's-
don't play there right now. They played
Or
Sacramento.
the LA Kings probably
Yeah,
play there.
Definitely.
Oh,
yeah.
my word.
Why would the
I don't
Sacramento
follow
Kings play
NHL, dude. I don't follow NHL. So when I read Kings, I don't think the LA Kings.
I mean,
the
why would they
NHL
be the
team.
Sacramento
No,
Kings
you're
playing
right.
in LA?
You're right. That was a dumb question. You're right. No, you're right.
I didn't know the LA Kings played there though either. So
It's news to you. But real quick, R.I.P. Young Dolph.
yeah, for real.
Rest in peace.
That's very unfortunate.
Yeah, dude was just trying to get cookies.
In
Like
his
that
hometown,
is
too.
the craziest thing ever,
Very unfortunate. He's very influential in the rap game.
especially in Memphis.
Yeah. Next, LeBron James, who has been out for the last couple weeks, is expected to return this Friday against the Boston Celtics. Thank God, because I have been waiting it out in fantasy, and I'm getting sick and tired. I've been throwing him around in trades. No one wants him, and the only people that do want him are the dudes that have Westbrook and AD. And I don't, and like, so I don't. Why would they want him? You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, LeBron's coming back, hopefully, and he stays back because I'm tired of dealing with injuries. I know you have it much worse
yeah,
than I do.
I've got like 7. Like, do you know I'm losing to Bupp right now
Yeah, I know.
by
Me and
170?
Jordan have a really close matchup going.
How am
this
I
week.
getting blown out? Like, I don't know, dude. I
Gotta
don't
get your
understand
first
it.
win.
Gotta go.
Next, we got some baseball news. The Detroit Tigers make a big-time splash at the beginning of MLB free agency, signing left-handed starting pitcher Eduardo Rodriguez to a 5-year, $85 million contract. I didn't write the dollar amount down. I think it was 85, but if it's not, it's something around that. But the Tigers are expected to be big spenders in this offseason. I wouldn't be surprised if they spend upwards of, $500 million this offseason, and they're off to a right start. So
Wild how baseball works. And did you see the whole thing about Justin Verlander?
yeah.
The Tigers are expected to land that guy.
I know.
That is awesome.
That there was talks about it last year, and obviously he has ties with the Tigers, but AJ Hinch was his former manager, and that's why there's Carlos Correa talk. I think that the Tigers are the favorite to land Correa right now, but we'll see. I think the Tigers are going to sign a shortstop, whether it's Correa or Corey Seager or Chris Taylor. I really don't know who it's going to be, but I hope it's Carlos Correa because even though he's a very hated man, My opinion like that will change.
Oh, if he's a Tiger.
But if he doesn't go to the Tigers, F Carlos Correa.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
So, coming from, again, like a non-baseball watcher or even fan for the most part, if we get Verlander, I know Verlander's way past his prime, right? Not even very good anymore, right?
Yeah, he didn't play at all last year just because I think he had Tommy John last year. He had some sort of surgery though.
Okay, so let's say we just get Carlos Correa. What is like our expected ranking?
Like, as far as
like, where do we fall? Are we good again?
Because at the end of the year, the Tigers were around 500. I would say they were probably around like the 15 to 20 range of like power rankings. I mean, they'll probably be borderline top 10.
Wow.
But it just depends on, because their MLB free agency there's so many free agents.
Yeah.
Like there's so many. So it really just depends on where everyone else goes. Because the White Sox are supposed to be big players in free agency, and they were really good last year. The Royals are supposed to be big. Like the AL Central is supposed to be like pretty good next year because they're all expected to be buyers in free agency.
Yeah.
So we'll see. The Tigers they got a starting pitcher though, which is one of their biggest needs. So we'll see how the rest of free agency goes. And it's weird because MLB free agency is nothing like NFL and NBA free agency where it's like it starts and then it's like, all right, go. Everything happens at once. I wish it was like that because it'd be way more entertaining.
Like the fact that Carlos Correa is even in free agency still is wild.
Exactly. Free agency free agency is weird. It started like 2 or 3 days after the World Series ended. Like it just starts.
So then you just start signing players.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to start negotiating with teams until it starts. Whereas in the NBA, you're not allowed to start, but when you sign at the minute free agency starts, I mean, clearly you were at further talks.
Screw the NBA for buckling down on that rule.
Yeah, I know.
Like they picked on.
Who cares about it? Like,
I do. It literally, the fact that freaking Lonzo Ball negotiated with the Chicago Bulls a few days before, probably months before.
Probably as soon as the season ended.
And I don't care, dude. He was going to Chicago no matter what. It's the dumbest thing. Who cares?
It's his decision where he goes. So why does it matter if it's not like he wasn't going to go to the Bulls if he didn't talk to the Bulls before?
Yeah. Like if the other team
it gives another team an advantage. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Whatever.
If
it's like every team can go out and sign him too. Like there's only a specific amount of teams that have, the cap space and the need for a point guard like him anyways.
He probably reached out to the Bulls. I mean, he might have been like, hey, I'd love to come play for you guys. Chicago's awesome.
Exactly. And then let's talk about this past weekend, what we did. We went to the Steelers-Lions game in Pittsburgh, and I'll let you start.
It was, first off, this is my first time ever being to Pittsburgh, or even like coming out of Michigan and heading east. I've never done that before. And it was really interesting. Pittsburgh is a very interesting city.
Yeah, it's a cool city.
It's very cool. I mean, all the bridges, the fact that you're just surrounded by rivers and it's like valley. It's very valley-y.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty beautiful, honestly.
Yeah, it's really cool. And my first time being in any other like big sports stadium other than like the Lions or the Tigers or the Pistons.
Yeah. This is my first time being I
did go in Vegas one time. I went to watch Team USA in Vegas, but like I don't.
Yeah, I've been to a spring training game, Tigers game in Florida, but like that doesn't count.
Yeah,
it's my first like out of Michigan big time stadium I've gone to. Yeah,
atmosphere in Pittsburgh was wild. It was rainy. It was cold. My toes were freezing. The
toes are about to fall off.
The game was awful.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. The game sucked.
The game was horrible. I enjoyed it. Yeah, but like. The game itself was some of the worst football I've ever seen.
Yeah, like I had a really fun time. And like it was a close game, which that made it, I guess that made it a good game because it was close. But holy shit, like both teams played like garbage.
They both were awful.
The Steelers should have won by 40. Like Jared Goff had like 8 passing attempts going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it was wild.
And obviously the weather had something to do with that. It was like sleeting out pretty much, and it was freezing cold. But like the Lions' game plan was so obvious. We're giving the ball to DeAndre Swift, and it was working for a while, and then it was like, all right, they caught on. Like, can we do something else?
But it also took Pittsburgh way too long to catch on to what we were doing.
And Pittsburgh had so many chances to pull away and win the game.
Just refused.
And they would just, Deontay Johnson had the huge play. It's like, Pittsburgh's finally going to score. Fumble. And then at the
Najee touchdown that gets called back.
Najee touchdown.
That was right in front of us,
and they kicked the field goal at the 3-yard line.
Yeah,
we had pretty good seats. We were right by the Lions tunnel, and we got to see the players come out, and we yelled at Jared Goff when he came back into the tunnel. He was one of the first dudes back in the tunnel too. He was not sticking around. He should have.
I mean, he's played in L.A. I don't even know where Jared Goff go to college.
Cal?
Maybe.
I think
he
it was
don't
Cal,
play in
yeah.
cold weather.
No, I think it was Cal.
This game was like freezing. It would have been miserable to play a football game in this. Like you would have rather had snow.
For sure.
No doubt about it.
Oh, yeah.
The wet and cold was horrible. We were in ponchos. Start of the second
Ponchos
quarter.
were goated, by the way.
Yeah.
Like that was genius.
Clutch, and we went to Walmart.
Because if we
the
didn't
night
have
before.
those, we would have been screwed.
Dude, because I did not dress warm enough with the poncho.
I know,
dude.
and I thought we were gonna be like overdressed as
Me
far as
too.
like have too much layers on. But I could have used another one for
Yeah,
sure.
easily could have put on another hoodie, another pair of long johns,
Yeah, I could have worn my sweatpants under my
third
jeans.
pair of socks. Like I could have went all out, and next time we will. I like the dude wearing the overalls, the bibs.
Yeah, that was smart.
That's genius.
Genius idea.
And it looks cool.
And Jared Goff is questionable for this upcoming week with an injury. I never like to root for an injury, but I honestly don't even think he's injured. I feel like that Dan Campbell is just, or the Lions are just saying, oh yeah, he's kind of hurt. We don't know if he's going to play, as far as like, okay, let's bench his ass because he needs to be benched.
I bet you the trainer walked into practice and Dan was like hitting him on the shoulder. And he's like, doesn't Jared Goff, like, isn't he kind of running funny?
Yeah.
And the trainer's like, Jared, get over here, dude. Your ankle. Something's wrong with you, dude.
Something's wrong. Trips him and falls. Oh, he broke his ankle. All right, let's move on to the college football playoff talk, though. Not much change this past week. The only things that happened was Oklahoma got their first loss against Baylor. They were frauds this whole time, but the committee already knew that because they had them ranked at 8th when they were 3 before the college football playoff started. So
it was expected for them to lose to Baylor,
Yeah.
which is never good when you're on an undefeated team.
know.
You should never be expected to lose.
Top 7 doesn't change. Georgia, Bama, Oregon, Ohio State, Cincy, Michigan, Michigan State, Notre Dame slides up to number 8. This weekend, obviously, we have the Michigan State versus Ohio State game, which is huge. Michigan looked really good against Penn State.
Very
Penn State
good.
honestly played pretty good too.
Yeah.
So that was Michigan's first win in Penn State since I saw.
It was
I
a
forget
long
what it was.
time.
It's been a while.
Because we
since
always
they've-
play in the freaking whiteout.
Yeah, exactly.
And they tried the whiteout, but it was during day.
The day whiteout doesn't.
And it
what's
wasn't
the
even
point?
cool.
No, it
like
wasn't
it was
cool at all.
way like the nighttime whiteout was one of the coolest atmospheres. I've never been
sure.
there, but I can imagine it's one of the coolest atmospheres in college football.
And yeah, Michigan got a big win there. But this week, the big games, like I said, Michigan State, Ohio State. Oregon takes on Utah, and Utah is favored to beat Oregon. It's in Utah, but so bettors out there, bet on Oregon. I mean, I'm not saying they're gonna win, but they're the underdog. They're plus 150 or plus 160 or
If
something.
we could bet on this game, we would be betting on
Yeah,
this
exactly. So Oregon, so this opens the window for Cincy to sneak in if Oregon gets the loss.
game. You can't be betting. So last week, for all the listeners, Skunk sends me 3 different things. And he's like, dude, if I could bet, I would totally put money on all 3 of these things. Not
None
a
of them happened.
single one of them
I know. That's
happened.
why I was like, okay, maybe it's a good thing.
It was like a spread and a spread
It was
and then something
Texas
else.
spread because they were 8.5 point underdogs
Basketball.
to Gonzaga. Yeah, Texas spread in basketball. And I didn't think they were gonna win, but I was like, dude,
There's no
I
way
don't
it's-
think they're gonna lose, and they lost by 15.
Yeah.
And I forget what the other one was, but
They were. I said to him on the way home, I was like, "Good thing you didn't bet, dude."
I will get better. I'm gonna practice over the next 8 months before I can start betting.
Oh God,
so.
dude, I got 2 years, like a year and 4 or 5
That's
months.
tough.
That's awful.
So yeah, that's pretty much it for college football. There really isn't many crazy games. Alabama plays Arkansas this weekend, but there's those are pretty much the 3 big games. Michigan has Maryland. I'm not even going to say that's a trap game. I mean, they can't lose that
No,
game.
and
there's no way Michigan loses that game.
They're gonna be too hyped to prepare. I'm really hoping they're not looking past and over preparing for Ohio State because if they lose this game, nothing else
It's over.
matters.
Yeah, exactly. Even if they beat Ohio State, it doesn't matter.
They're like the famous quote: "There is no tomorrow." You just got to win the game in front of you.
Which
dude.
I'm not. Yeah, it could be a trap game, I guess.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it is. They
if it's a
can't
trap
lose
game,
this game.
Jim Harbaugh has to be fired.
The trap
I'm
games
a
are
Jim
like-
Harbaugh fan.
Yeah, and I feel like trap games are more of it could that I could see a possible upset here. I don't think this is. I think
No.
it's just Michigan can't lose this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's move on to college basketball talk. We're about 2 weeks into college basketball. Michigan and Michigan State both have early losses. Like I said, State takes on Butler tonight. So this is their next biggest game since Kansas. Hopefully they can get the win. But a couple games that have happened so far, big games, like we said, the Gonzaga-Texas game.
And I was up for that. We were in Pittsburgh. Remember, we were in the hotel room. You were passed out. You were so tired. I watched the first half.
Really?
Drew Timmy had like 11 in the first 4 minutes. He ended
with
27 or
37.
Oh my god.
Or it might have been 38.
Dude,
Chet Holmgren only had like 2 points. Like, it was a Timmy show.
Player of the year, no doubt, is going to be Drew Timmy this year. Like, I don't think there's much argument.
It wouldn't surprise me.
The only thing that negative is the strength schedule. Obviously.
Here's the question. Do you think that Gonzaga goes undefeated again, like going into the tournament, like they did last year?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think there's a good chance.
I really don't see, like, there's nobody in the conference that can touch them, and they're basically done with out-of-conference play. Yeah. Like, that was their only big game.
BYU last night killed Oregon, number 12th ranked Oregon, 81-49.
Dude, the Storm and Mormons are back. Don't they have a really tall dude again? I think they have a crazy tall dude.
They have this guard though, Alex Barcelo. He had 25 points. Everyone's hyping him up. But I don't. But going back to Gonzaga though, I mean their team is still really good. Obviously they lost Kisper and Suggs, but their team is still loaded. Timmy is better. They still have Nembhard. They have Chet Holmgren. They have Hunter Salas, who's returning. Julian Strother is their other really good player. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Oregon, they still have Anton Watson too. But not Oregon. Gonzaga, I think they're probably going to go undefeated again.
And it's just kind of annoying to see them sit at number 1 but never be challenged.
I mean, they have they load their non-conference schedule.
Yeah, and they do.
Like, they have a couple more games against. I think they play a Big Ten team that's really good soon. So, but they do load up their non-conference schedule to prove to everyone, hey, we are freaking good.
Yeah.
And then they just go kill the rest of their conference.
Mark Few is like, here, let me take the best players in the country and let me play the JV teams of college basketball and just dominate.
I could see them like randomly dropping a conference game though, like just against a random team.
I couldn't even tell you most of their conference. Isn't like Monmouth?
I don't know.
Monmouth.
I mean, they're in the West Coast Conference. They have like San Francisco, St. Mary's, BYU. I don't know if Fresno State is maybe there. I think they're Mountain West, but. Yeah, we'll see if Gonzaga ends up losing.
Real quick, let's shout out Joe Ostrowski. He won Player of the Week in his conference. I'm trying to think of what school he went to. He's been balling. Connecticut State.
Connecticut.
Yeah, Central Connecticut.
Yeah.
He won Player of the Week in his conference, Rookie of the Week in his conference, which is super dope. Mount Pleasant native. Yeah, shout out Joe Ostrowski.
Definitely. And then a couple big games coming up. Or we talked about the Villanova UNC or UCLA game. UCLA got the dub there. Johnny Juzang had like 25 points. But a big game this weekend is Purdue UNC this Saturday.
So much fun.
Is definitely the best team in the Big Ten now, just because Michigan lost. But Purdue is a very deep team this year with a couple stars, and UNC is first year without Roy Williams, so we'll see how this game goes.
So help me out. What's the new coach's head name?
It is Hubert Davis.
Yep, Hubert Davis.
I was trying to. Is a former player.
Because I gotta get no on that. And do they know who's replacing Coach K yet?
Yeah, they do. Oh, I forget who it is though. But yes, it's a coach of a different team right now. But he's like a former Coach K assistant. I think he went to Duke too. I forget his name though. But he's already in line though.
The Duke news.
Oh, about Paolo Banchero?
Yeah.
I did write that down, but I just completely didn't even look at it. I mean, we could, but like he played last night. Banchero did.
Really?
So, yeah. So I mean, it's.
Then who cares?
I think they put his name in there for headlines because he didn't get in really any trouble at all. He was
just Coach.
He got an aiding a D whatever because he was in the car with a dude that was drunk driving. So I think they just put him in there because
it's
just
his
to
name.
get exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was Coach K's grandson that he did get arrested. So yeah,
that's awful start to your last season. Your victory run.
Right.
What a bad start.
So yeah, let's move on to some NBA talk. The Detroit Pistons the other night against the Sacramento Kings got killed,
dude.
But Cade Cunningham had the best game of his career so far with 25 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. He hit 5 threes in this game, and he shot 50% from the field.
Yeah.
Where's the haters now?
No, reminder. Everybody was already selling on Cade when he was like he was like what 1 for 17.
I saw because that tweet was like Cade is 1 for 12 or 1 for 17 from 3 to start the year. Someone quoted it and was like, since this tweet he's shooting like 45 or something from over 40%.
One of the best rookie shooter since that point of anybody. So thank you for everybody who doubted Cade Cunningham. He will end up being at least the second or third best player in this class. I don't think. I honestly think Mobley will be one. I really do.
And Scotty Barnes is right there.
Yeah.
And obviously, what's his face?
Jalen Green.
Jalen Green, yeah.
I just don't like talking about him.
I actually didn't I didn't mean to say what's his face.
Yeah.
But,
no disrespect to Jalen Green.
Sadiq Bey also went off in that game. He had like 28, 29 points, but the rest of our team just sucked against the Kings. So tonight we play. Ooh, who do we play? I know who we play.
I don't.
I literally just was looking at it, and now I can't think about it. God, I'm not going to be able to think. Is it the Celtics?
I don't know. Is it Eastern Conference?
Pull it up.
Yeah, pull it
It's
up.
at 7, but I think it's a home game. So no, we play the Warriors, I think. I think it's the Warriors. Or is that Thursday
Friday.
night?
That's Friday
Is it Friday? I knew we played the Warriors later in the game.
I got to coach the JV and freshman team that night because Todd's going down to that game.
Well, yeah. But is it late? Like if it's in Golden's... Oh, no, if Todd's going to the game.
It's in Detroit.
But yeah, the Pistons, they play tonight, so hopefully they can get a dub or just look good. I mean, they don't have to get a dub.
They have to compete. That's all we want.
But let's talk about Hami Diallo because that's kind of been the storyline of the Pistons right now. Hami Diallo was a guy
and Corey
who...
Joe.
Well, yeah, but like Hami Diallo was a guy that we extended this off, or we re-signed him, I guess, 2-year, $10 million deal, and it was kind of a steal of a contract. And he just has not been cracking the rotation so far this year. And it's been kind of odd because last year he was one of our better bench players, and our bench really, really sucks right now. Like without Kelly Olynyk, Trey Lyles will have a good game here and there, but Josh Jackson is really our only consistent bench player right now, which really sucks because Corey Joseph plays way too much.
And he's fallen off.
And he's not good. Saban Lee, they finally brought him back up. Garza's been playing with Olynyk
Isaiah
out.
Livers is up, right?
Livers is up, but he didn't play the other night, so I don't know if he's still nursing his injury or whatever, but why is Diallo not playing?
I can't figure out why you would go out, and I get it because like it was at the end of free agency when we signed him. Like we were sitting there, and everybody's like, "Why has Hami not been signed?"
Well, it's because we gave him the qualifying offer, so it was like if no other team
Then he
signs him,
accepts it, yeah.
then he's taking the QO. So maybe another team was thinking about paying him. We were like, all right, we might as well just do it now. But yeah, I don't know.
I really do. I
They
can't
play the
figure
Pacers
out.
tonight.
Oh, ew! What an awful team. Just kidding. I like the
like
Pacers.
the
I like the
Pacers,
Pacers. I got nothing against them. But Hami Diallo not playing doesn't make a lot of sense when we're not competing as is, and a guy like Corey Joe is sucking. Yeah. And I get Hami Diallo isn't a point guard. I get it. But if you can stagger Killian and Cade's minutes,
exactly,
and there's no reason you can't do it
because you really don't see much of it. I mean, we haven't seen at all Killian Hayes running with the second unit.
Yeah.
There is times where Cade will get run at point guard, but most of the time, Cade and Killian, when they play, they're on the court together, which I like, but I mean, you definitely can stagger their minutes because they are 2 point guards. So,
like they literally came into the league, both of them as point guards, and you got one of them playing the 2, which is okay. Like in the starting lineup, that's okay.
Yeah.
But subbing Josh Jackson for one of them, pull him, and then put him with the second unit, and then stagger their minutes the rest of the game.
And Corey Joe, I mean, I don't mind if Corey Joe plays 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But he's playing 25 minutes a night, and it's just like, dude, he's out there just sucking and just like
being
hurting
horrible.
the development of our players. Like, it'd be different if he's setting guys up and really just kind of out there being a leader. I mean, I assume he's a vocal leader in practice, and I definitely think he is a good mentor for our young guards, but he doesn't need to be doing what he's doing.
He doesn't
games.
play like he's like a good leader.
He plays like he's trying to get a contract.
Yeah, get a bag, which like I guess. I mean,
you just got a 3-year deal from the Pistons.
Yeah, exactly.
So like you are locked up. You might as well suck.
Maybe the Pistons have said, "Hey, we want to trade you. You got to ball out," and maybe that's what's going on. But
there
I don't
definitely
know.
could be a team that wants Corey Joe, but not right now.
Not the way he's playing. He's not helping himself.
And Frank Jackson can't hit a shot. Actually, the other night he had a decent game, but Frank Jackson plays. I mean, he's not better than Hami Diallo. There's no way Frank Jackson's better than Diallo.
Absolutely not.
So we'll see. Diallo can be traded starting December 2nd after the recently signed restrictions. So we'll see if we move him because if he's not going to play, we might as well trade him.
Yeah, absolutely.
For Marvin Bagley. But just to talk about a couple teams that are doing really good, the Washington Wizards are the number 1 team in the East right now on a 5-game win streak, 10-3. Will the Washington Wizards make the playoffs?
Yes, sir.
Will they make the playoffs as a non-play-in tournament team?
Maybe not.
I don't think so.
No, I think they're probably going to end up in the tournament, but they very well could end as a 6.
And another question about the Wizards: will Bradley Beal re-sign with the Washington Wizards?
I really do not know, but if they're performing like this, I don't see any. I mean, you've stuck it out this long. Might as well keep doing it.
They might have found the right coach. I mean, Scott Brooks the last few years was a lot of people said they didn't like Scott Brooks, how he ran the Washington Wizards. And their Bradley Beal, I mean, he still hasn't been performing like crazy good this year, but he's just surrounded by great role players.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, Denny Avdia has been playing really well this year.
Rui is a monster.
I don't think Rui's been playing at all this year.
Oh, is he not?
I don't think so. No,
He's
I think
still.
but yeah, he is a monster. Yes,
You got
But,
the role players.
Montrezl Harrell has been going off this year. Daniel Gafford has looked pretty good.
How's KCP been?
He's been pretty good. I mean, he gets a good amount of. I think he starts for them most nights. Kyle Kuzma's having a pretty good year, but the Wizards are just the best team in the East, which is super unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
The Philadelphia 76ers are currently on a 5-game losing streak, but they are kind of just dealing with COVID issues. No Joel Embiid, no Tobias Harris for a while. Tyrese Maxey been balling for them, but the Bucks are still 6-8. They're trying to figure out their COVID injury issues. The Hawks are 6-9. They have not looked very good so far this year. And then out west, the Phoenix Suns are on a 9-game win streak right now. Didn't even know that. When I was looking at the standings today, I saw that. I was like, I mean, I knew that they are doing better than the beginning of the year, but I didn't know they're on a 9-game win streak.
Now.
That move Chris Paul made the other night on Anthony Edwards, that
dirty.
Oh my God, I wish he would have.
That was
layup.
Anthony Edwards' his welcome to the league moment. Probably right.
I mean, he probably had something last year, but
to me, that was
that is just dirty.
That's one of the greatest PGs ever saucing.
How do you? Okay, I'm a guy that likes to do fancy moves in games, right? I would never think to even watch. I'm gonna just make this dude look like a fool right now. Dude, I would never think about even doing that move.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how good Chris Paul is. But I wish he would have finished that play though, because
he missed the floater.
Yeah, the Warriors are the best team in the league, 12-2. They killed the Nets last night in Brooklyn, and Curry
looked bad.
Curry was getting MVP chance in Brooklyn. Yeah, the Warriors are freaking good, dude.
And fun.
It's low key kind of cool that they're.
I love
again.
it.
I like it.
Am I a Warriors fan now? I don't know. I don't want to say yes because I'm clearly a bandwagon.
Breaking news: Justin Verlander in agreement with Astros on 1-year, $25 million deal. That sucks. That is kind of a lie. I didn't expect him to get that much. That sucks, though. Justin Verlander will not be returning
to Detroit.
The Detroit
That is a 1-year deal, though. He could come next year.
He'll come back next year. All right.
I want him to finish his career in Detroit.
I hope so.
That's the most legendary to me, other than Miggy.
Yeah, exactly. And it would be cool for them to play with each other again.
One last time.
But we'll see.
That could be their one last dance. The last dance for the Detroit Tigers.
Could be. Houston Rockets are on a 12-game losing streak.
They're awful.
They're 1-13.
Just as bad as the Pistons.
Okay, and let's talk about the Pelicans for the last time. They're 2-13. Brandon Ingram is back. But do you just scratch the season for Zion as far as Zion returning?
Yeah, and I hope our whole fantasy league isn't listening. But if I'm them, I'm scratching. Zion, don't play. There's just no reason. You're not going to compete for anything. You might compete for a play-in spot. But you get to the playoffs, and what's going to happen? You're going to lose. You're not winning anything. So
exactly,
there's no reason for Zion to play.
Yeah, the Pelicans have been kind of because I thought they were going to be improved this year, even without Zion, just because they made some pretty decent moves in the offseason, but they just suck.
Yep, absolutely.
Speaking of guys that just suck, let's talk about 5 disappointing players so far this year.
Disclaimer.
Go ahead.
These are our most disappointing players. These are players we expected to perform well. You might have not expected these guys to perform as well as we did. It is our list.
And this is also not just the 5 most disappointing guys.
It's just 5 guys.
There's definitely other guys that have been disappointing. I just wanted to put a variety of guys. I didn't put any of the super obvious ones that have been disappointing. I just thought of guys that I thought were going to have pretty good years, and they're just haven't yet so far. So that is a disclaimer to all of you jerks in the comments.
Casuals.
All right, let's go.
Number one, I'll make the most obvious one. It's Michael Porter Jr. Granted, 9 games, only played 9 games so far. He's now hurt with the same back injury that killed him in his rookie year. So I am really hopeful that Michael Porter Jr. gets back and he's healthy. But I hope when he comes back and he's healthy, he plays a lot better than he did.
Yeah.
He averaged 10 points and 6 rebounds in
and
his
a
9
horrible
games.
shooting too.
Awful.
A guy who was crazy efficient last year.
We expected him to average 23 and 8
Yeah,
this season.
You had him as your most improved
21.
player. I had him as my second, as the runner-up for most improved player.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I expected him to ball out.
I got another guy. He is another Porter Jr. It's Kevin Porter Jr. Kevin Porter Jr. was another guy on that list that I really thought was going to break out. John Wall not playing this year I thought would benefit him because he's going to get damn near all the point guard minutes. And he's only averaging 12.5 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Horrible shooting, 36% and 31% from 3. Turns the ball over a lot. And Kevin Porter Jr. is not really a guy that plays like extremely good defense either. I mean, he's like a solid defender just because he's a bigger guard. But yeah, Kevin Porter Jr. has been pretty disappointing so far this year.
He looks like he's just trying to do too much when you watch him play. Just looks like he's doing way too much.
And I just thought him and Jalen Green would kind of play well together, which they really haven't. I can't say Jalen Green has been disappointing just because, I mean, he's a rookie. You can't really put a rookie on this list. But
absolutely. And my next guy, this guy is, again, he was the talk of the start of the season, but he hasn't really turned it up at all so far, and that's James Harden. This guy is still disappointing. We expect him to average upwards of 11, 12 assists this year and lead the league in assists by a mile. And with Kyrie Irving out, he should be averaging a lot more. He should be averaging a lot more than 20 points a game, that's for sure.
Yeah.
This is not a good year for Harden. He looks out of sorts. He doesn't even look like he cares most of the games.
He looks out of shape still, and they are 15 games into the season. Like, as you know, you can make your overreactions the first like 5 games, maybe even the first like 10 games, but 15 games into the year, like
We're damn near a quarter.
You're into the mix of the season already.
Yeah,
and he still looks out of shape. So we'll see. Harden, I really hope he can improve because with no Kyrie, they need him to step up. They still are 10-5, so like it's not like the end of the world, but.
You're not going to win many playoff wins with
You're
him.
You're not going to beat the Wizards in the playoffs.
I think you will. But
another guy for me is one of my favorite guys in the league, Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
Jaren Jackson Jr., after 2 years ago, his sophomore year, really broke out. He was averaging like 18 points per game. Last year was disappointing just because he was hurt all year. But he's only averaging 14 and 6 this year on 38% shooting, 34% from 3. I thought with no Jonas Valanciunas, he really would step up. And he hasn't so far. But it could just be because it's like the Ja Morant show in Memphis right now.
Yeah, it's the Ja Morant most improved player like race at this point.
Exactly,
just how good can I be?
Right.
My next guy, again, crazy obvious. I'm going to stick him in here. Damian Lillard. 20 points a game? Huh? It's like the lowest since his rookie year.
Yeah.
He does not look good. He looks all out of sorts. He's on Twitter complaining about the new foul rules and then comes out and says, I didn't even abuse them. And then there's just clips.
Yeah, clips of him abusing them,
like in the bubble, just completely
And Dame is a guy
him.
who doesn't get much hate either. So
No.
But it's also because he doesn't really play bad ever. So.
Yeah, but now he's just like straight up lying about these new foul rules and everything, and it definitely is affecting his game. Damian Lillard just doesn't look great this year. 20 points a game is awful for that guy.
And he was a guy that during the Olympics, he was dealing with an injury, a core injury, I'm pretty sure. So it could be an injury thing, but if it's an injury thing, okay, you need to come out and say, I'm injured. Like, I'll take some games off. I mean, you don't need to play every game if you're injured. Like, it's the first 15 games of the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
My next guy is Chris Boucher. Chris Boucher, I mainly have him on here because he just doesn't play anymore.
Yeah, he's fell out of the rotation.
Yeah, he is averaging 13 and a half minutes this year, and a lot of those have come in garbage time for the Raptors. And this is weird because the Raptors don't really have like crazy center depth. I mean, they have like Kem Birch, who's been on and off hurt, Precious Achua.
Birch.
They start Siakam at the center now, but Siakam just started playing 3 or 4 games ago. Chris Boucher is averaging 5.5 points, 3.5 rebounds, shooting 37% from the field and 18% from 3. I mean, like, Chris Boucher was a guy who I thought was honestly going to be a lot improved this year just because he was going to have a bigger role, whereas he just doesn't even play anymore. So that's why he's disappointing to me.
My next guy, every year I'm really rooting for this guy, and that's Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is averaging 23.5 points. You hear that and you go, yeah, that's pretty good. He's playing alongside Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown isn't playing.
Yeah.
And Jason Tatum's efficiency is awful. It's like 38% from the field and like 31% or 30%. 31% from 3. He does not look good.
And he's 75% from the free throw line, too.
Which is just not Jason Tatum-esque. Tatum needs to step it up. Jaylen Brown is not playing, dude. You are the only shot maker on that team.
And Kemba Walker's gone. Like, it was supposed to be the year of the duo, and it really hasn't been so far. And I also have Tatum on here too. He was like the only like star player I put on here, strictly because the Celtics suck, bro.
They're awful.
They're 7-7. They were on a losing streak. They just won the other night, so that broke their streak. But yeah, Tatum was supposed to be dark horse MVP this year, and he clearly has not been. Like,
he looks awful.
The Celtics don't look very good. Rob Williams is now hurt, which sucks because he's on my freaking team. But yeah, Tatum, I put him on here just because he's one of the few guys that is a star of a team that should be good, that isn't good. Like Dame, I guess you could say too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I got Tatum on here too.
My fifth, I kind of cheated a little here. I'm going with the LA Lakers. 6-8. You are supposed to be one of the like super teams, dominate the West. Not dominate, but be at the top of the West. Right now they're the 7th seed. They're 4th in their division. They do not look good at all. And you sit there and you think, you're watching, and then you go, yeah, who thought this roster would ever work? Granted, Wayne Ellington is now back, and he's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. Not like volume-wise, but actual just like knocking down the shot. He's one of those guys. This team should be way better than what they are.
And like Anthony Davis has been, I mean, he got ejected from their last game. He's been playing pretty good.
Yeah,
but
Brody's been playing better.
With no LeBron, I mean, they're just sending doubles at AD because AD's good. I mean, he's been playing good, but like they played the Bulls the other night. Anthony Davis would catch the ball and they're doubling right away, and he couldn't do nothing the whole game because no one else can score on the Lakers with no LeBron. So it's hopefully when LeBron comes back, the Lakers improve a little bit, but because I mean, they're the 7th seed right now. They're obviously
no way they finish.
They're not going to miss the playoffs. I mean, they were the 7th seed last year, but that was because of injury too. So we'll see. But the Buddy Hield trade sounds really good right now.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot better than the Russell Westbrook trade.
I bet the Wizards are happy they did.
Yeah, because you could have kept a lot of talent. You wouldn't have had to give up all of your.
Yeah, because Westbrook is making what? Probably $26 million more than Buddy Hield is.
And you don't have to give up Kuzma, Trez,
Yeah, because I think the original trade was just KCP and Kuzma, I'm pretty sure. I don't think it involved Harrell.
You had to keep Trez, who's an undersized center who can play the 4 next to freaking Anthony Davis.
I don't think you wouldn't have to give up a pick either. Yeah. They gave up a pick in that trade too. So
I do have honorable mentions. I know you got one left, but my 2 honorable mentions. Actually, say your last one.
All right, my last one is another guy who's just kind of not played that much, Danilo Gallinari. Gallinari last year, especially in the playoffs, was a huge piece for the Hawks coming off the bench. He had several games where he would take over and be their main guy next to Trae Young. But Danilo Gallinari is averaging 7 points, 3.5 rebounds, shooting 36% from the field, 37 from 3, only playing 18 minutes a night, and has just been an absolute non-factor this year for the Hawks, and the Hawks are not very good, too. DeAndre Hunter recently got hurt. He's going to be out for quite some time, I'm pretty sure, so maybe this will open the door for Gallinari to get some more minutes, but it probably is just going to lead to Cam Reddish and them getting more minutes. But Gallinari is my 5th guy.
My honorable mentions, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, a guy I had very high on my most improved player list. And then Duncan Robinson. Dude just caught a bag to shoot threes and sucks at it all of a sudden.
Can't hit threes, yeah.
And granted,
I love his podcast, bro.
I love Duncan. Don't get me wrong. Big Michigan guy. But come on, start hitting your threes, bud. I am
realize
also
what you got paid for, right?
I'm also a Miami Heat fan. Like, I need you to hit the threes.
I will say, though, I picked up Duncan Robinson last week during a back-to-back they had his 2 best fantasy games of the year.
36 and 45 type numbers.
Like that,
yeah.
Which is pretty solid.
Yeah, especially for a shooter.
And then my only honorable mention, I had to put a homer pick on here. I put Jeremy Grant on here.
Oh, my. I was thinking about putting him on here.
I mean, Jeremy Grant, it's not just because, I mean, he's averaging 18 a game, 4.5 rebounds. His shooting splits aren't that bad. I mean, they're pretty similar to last year, 41% from the field, 33 from 3. But he's just been very inconsistent.
That's what I was going to say. Last year, inconsistency.
Last year, he's getting you 22 to 25 points every single night, like no matter what. This year, it's like he'll get you 30 one night,
and
like against
9.
the Rockets, one off, and then he'll get 8 the next night, and it's just like we need you to be like the star of this team.
We need you to score
like
every
against the
night.
Kings. He scored 0 points in the first half against the Kings. It was the Sadiq and Cade show.
I think he ended with 7.
Yeah, he had a few in the third quarter, but I'm excited to watch the Pistons tonight. They got to get a freaking win.
You want to go over last week in the NFL?
Yep, let's go over last week in the NFL. Let's go over the weekly picks. Last week, I returned with a win to be down 5-4, but I had such a bad week this past week. 6 out of 14. Easton got 9 out of 14. We didn't even pick a tiebreaker game, so thank God it didn't come down to a tie.
That smells good.
You're up 6-4 now, so
yes, sir.
Let's just go over quickly like the highlights of last
player
week.
Of the week.
And player of the week. Baltimore loses to Miami on Thursday night. Good job picking that one because I sure as hell didn't. Cordero Patterson got hurt against Dallas. Pretty upset about that one. The Bucks lost to the Washington Football Club.
Lots of upsets.
That's a weird club. One. I've been calling them something different every
soccer
time.
Soccer team?
The New England Patriots murder the Cleveland Browns. Mac Jones looks like offensive rookie of the year
Everybody's
right now.
hopping on that, dude.
Is he going to win it over Jamar Chase?
Probably,
Mac Jones?
It depends. I mean, I think Mac Jones probably will because I just don't expect Jamar Chase to sustain this. But if Jamar Chase sustains what he's doing, he wins it easily.
But you got to consider if Mac Jones takes the Patriots to the playoffs as a rookie, I mean,
After Cam Newton couldn't.
you kind of have to give it to
Yeah.
Mac Jones.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I mean, Jamar Chase is having a historic year. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Just depends on how the rest of their seasons go. Speaking of, wait, what did we say before Mac Jones?
I have no idea.
I looked
they
at it.
murdered the Browns.
I don't know why that made me think of something, but it was it was Cam Newton. You said Cam Newton.
Yeah.
He got back for Carolina, and they upset the Arizona Cardinals. He had a
Yes,
pretty.
sir.
He didn't play that much, but when he did play, he looked pretty good.
Got a touchdown.
Yeah. Kansas City bounces back, kills the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday
I forget
Night
we
Football.
didn't watch a lot of these.
No.
We were on the road
we didn't
the
watch-
entire
we
any
watched
of them.
one game.
Yeah.
We're
That's hilarious.
Monday Night Football, the Rams have lost on prime time back-to-back weeks.
Weird.
Ugly losses,
Yeah.
too. So I think Matt Stafford is out of my top 5 MVP race
Yes,
right now.
probably.
That's pretty much it. There really wasn't any other, important games. Sorry if
Yeah.
I didn't say your favorite team.
Player of the week.
Player of the week, who you got?
Easily. Monday Night Football watching it. Deebo Samuel did it all for the 49ers. That dude catches the ball and he's gone. He is so freaking fast and shifty, and he picks the open spots of the field incredibly well.
Yeah.
It never feels like he's running the wrong way. I'm never like, dude, why didn't you go this way? Like, you know what I mean with Deebo?
Yeah.
Deebo only
He's just very good after the catch. I mean,
Very
he is
good.
excellent. Here's a question. Is Deebo top 10 wide receivers in the NFL right now?
in the NFL or this season.
In the NFL?
Probably.
I don't know.
Probably
we had
not.
this discussion with Cooper Kupp, obviously.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp, we said was
Because
yeah.
the only reason I asked this, though, is because I saw a TikTok today that was like, at this point, this dude's top 10. and
He
it was
probably
Deebo.
is. Last year he was nuts.
Last year, I mean, when he played, because he was injured for
Yeah.
most of last year, but when he did play, he was very good. So
Yeah.
I think he's at least in that conversation. I would love to do a revisit a top 15 wide receivers list.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
My Week 10 player of the week was Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is answering
back.
the hate that the Chiefs have been getting because they've been sucking. Mahomes went off 35 of 50 for 406 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 picks, and they got a huge dub on Sunday Night Football against the Raiders. One more quick question about this. Not just basing it off of this year. Is Patrick Mahomes still the best quarterback in the NFL?
Maybe not.
Isn't
I
that tough?
honestly think no, not after this season. However, most of his team's struggles aren't his fault, but I really do think the best quarterback in football is Tom Brady. He's been unreal. Granted, he just lost.
Right.
But Tom Brady is unbelievable. The dude still leads the league in passing yards.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I
That is
think
nuts.
Mahomes is probably still the best quarterback in the league, but it's definitely up for grabs.
Yeah.
It's not like how it's been the last 2 years where it's like Mahomes and then everyone else.
Yep.
That's another list that I would love to do at the end of the year, too.
Quarterbacks,
Top
yeah.
10 QBs, because that one's going to be interesting.
I would love that.
Let's hop into weekly picks.
Weekly picks, it's the weekly picks. It's the high tempo weekly NFL picks.
Weekly picks is back this week. The Denver Broncos. What?
It's back this week.
Well, yeah, it's back. I know you missed it, but it's back. It's back. The Denver Broncos and LA Rams are on bye this week, so let's hop into it. Thursday Night Football, we have the 6-4 New England Patriots taking on the 4-5 Atlanta Falcons.
I'll hop on the bandwagon too. Go Mac Jones. Go Patriots.
Yeah, I'm going with the Patriots as well. No Cordero Patterson, so Atlanta ain't going to be able to do nothing on offense. Well, actually, he might still play, but I doubt it. Next, we have the 5-4 New Orleans Saints taking on the 4-6 Philadelphia Eagles.
Taking the Saints in this game. The Saints defense is unreal, and Jalen Hurts really hasn't been that great this year. So I'm going with the Saints.
I'm going with the Saints as well too. They had a nice 5-2 start, and they've dropped their last 2 games, so I think they're going to bounce back this week and get a dub. Next, we have the 3-7 Miami Dolphins taking on the 2-7 New York Jets.
Taking the Dolphins. They're coming off a big win. That's a win you want to roll off of, not take a step back. Granted, they do have quarterback troubles. Who's starting? Who's playing?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think Jacoby Brissett's probably
They
starting
both
again.
played last week.
Yeah, Tua had almost his whole second half.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm going with the Jets in this game. They announced that Joe Flacco is going to start. He'd get his first start back. And I'm taking the Jets. Mike White is over. He's done.
Hold on. Joe Flacco?
Yeah.
He's still in the league?
Yeah, he was with the Jets last year, and then he signed with
I do remember that.
yeah, he signed with the Eagles this offseason to be a backup, and then they traded him to the Jets once Zach Wilson got hurt.
Didn't he get the Jets their only win last year?
I think so, yeah. He
Yeah.
did. And he's back, and I think he's going to get him the dub.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Next, we have the 3-6 Washington football team. I was trying to think of another word for team. Taking on the 5-5 Carolina Panthers.
Panthers. Christian McCaffrey is back. Literally, he is their whole offense, and it's not even funny. Cam Newton also fits right in on the goal line. He really does.
Yeah, and and Robbie Anderson are just best friends.
I know. So weird. So weird. But Panthers.
I am going with the Washington football team here. They got a huge win over the Bucs last week, and I think they're going to look to continue and get a dub this week. Next, the 5-5 Indianapolis Colts taking on the 6-3 Buffalo Bills.
I've got the Bills in this game. Bills need wins. Stephon Diggs needs to keep stepping it up. Stephon Diggs needs to have good week after good week after good week. Yeah, he did. But he needs to keep doing that now. Like, he needs to build off that.
Yeah. Give me the upset. I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts. They've been rolling this last couple weeks. The Bills, man, they're a weird team. They killed the Jets last week, but the week before they lost to the Jaguars. The Bills scare me, so I'm taking the Colts.
Bills are way more inconsistent than they were last year.
Definitely. Next, we have your very own. We didn't even talk about that it was a tie, I guess, in the game, that it ended in a tie. I mean, obviously everyone knows, but what a horrible way to end.
Najee Harris didn't even know it existed. He literally thought that it was impossible to tie. He had no idea that's the way it worked.
But yeah, the 0-8-1 Detroit Lions. We have not lost in the last 2 weeks. You already know. We're undefeated in the last 2 weeks. Taking on the 5-5 Cleveland Browns.
I'm trying to win weekly picks, right? Every single close game we have, it feels like recently, we get blown out the next game.
True, yeah.
Going with the Browns.
This is the tough one for me, right? I'm picking the Browns. I have yet to pick against the Lions this year, except when I picked the Rams to beat them. And I at this point, I'm down 6-4 in weekly picks. I gotta win weekly picks. Now, if the Lions come out and beat the Browns, I'm gonna be pretty pissed off. I'm not gonna lie. So, I'm going with the Browns here. But if Jared Goff doesn't start, I mean, we have a good chance.
David Blau is that guy.
Yeah. Next, we have the 4-5 San Francisco 49ers taking on the 2-7 Jags.
I want the Jags in this game, taking the upset. Go Jags. 49ers coming off a big win. Hopefully they've...
I'm going with the San Francisco in this one. I don't like Jacksonville. Next, we have the 1-8 worst team in football, Houston Texans, taking on the 8-2 Tennessee Titans.
Going Titans in this game. Absolutely going with Titans against Texans. Texans suck.
Yeah, Texans suck. I'm going with Tennessee all day. Next, we have the 8-2 Green Bay Packers taking on the 4-5 Minnesota Vikings.
I'm going with the Vikings. This is just strictly which team I like more.
Yeah.
Going with the Vikings.
I'm going with the Vikings, too. Upset. Green Bay looked decent last Sunday night.
No,
their defense.
Yes,
their defense. That's why I said decent, because their offense
half
didn't look
their
good.
team looked good.
Yeah, their defense was pretty good. I mean, they shut down the Seahawks, but their offense did not look very good. Vikings, they need to get a win, so I'm going with the Vikings. And the Vikings upset the Chargers last week, too, so they got momentum. Next, we have the 6-3 Baltimore Ravens taking on the 3-6 Chicago Bears.
Go with the Ravens in this game. The Ravens honestly don't look very great.
I know, they did at the beginning, and they've kind of just been like...
And they win games, but it's just the Lamar show at the end of games, dude. And it's just, they don't look very good. But going with the Ravens.
I'm going with the Ravens as well, too. They really need to bounce back after that Miami loss.
I just hate the Bears.
Yeah, I don't like the Bears at all. Next, we have the 5-4 Cincinnati Bengals taking on the 5-4 Las Vegas Raiders.
Going with the Bengals in this game.
Yeah.
I literally don't pick against the Bengals.
I'm going with the Bengals here, too. They're coming off of a bye, and I just picked them. Next, we have the 8-2 Arizona Cardinals taking on the 3-6 Seattle Seahawks.
I want the Seahawks in this game. Seahawks need to bounce back. They need to win some games here. It's Russell Wilson's second game back. I'm really hoping he does well.
I picked the Cardinals here. They lost this last week against Carolina, so they got to bounce back with a win. Next, we have probably the game of the week, 7-2 Dallas Cowboys taking on the 6-4 Kansas City Chiefs.
I went with the Cowboys in this game.
Really?
Again, I hate doing it, but in all honesty, I've realized I'm not a Chiefs fan.
Yeah.
I'm not a Cowboys fan.
I'm not a Cowboys fan either.
I'm a fan of neither of this team.
I mean, I used to like the Chiefs. Obviously, I got Chiefs gear. But like, I'm not a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, I do like watching.
They're
CeeDee
fun
Lamb.
when they play good, but
Yeah, I like watching CeeDee Lamb, so I'm going with the boys.
I'm going with the Chiefs here. They've been red hot lately at home, taking the Chiefs. Sunday night football, we have the Big Benless 5-3-1 Pittsburgh Steelers, led by Denthead, taking on the 5-4 Los Angeles Chargers.
Going with the Chargers.
Yeah.
Screw
I'm
the
going with
Steelers,
the Chargers. Like,
dude.
the Steelers, like, the Steelers suck, bro.
And it didn't make me like them anymore being there. It
because
made me hate them
they played
way more.
so bad. That was
Yeah.
funny. Like, if they would have, like, beat us, I'd be like, all right, respect to the Steelers. Like, they took care of business. Nah,
No.
you played against the 0-8 Lions with
It
Jared
sucked.
Goff in the pouring rain, and you couldn't beat us.
And we were telling everybody around us that, like, hey, you're playing the 0-8 Lions.
Oh, yeah, we were reminding people, like, yeah, the Lions are 0-8, just so you know. Like, we suck, bro. You should be winning by 30.
Thanks.
But the Lions also should have won with that
Easily.
field goal, dude. Oh, I'm still mad about that. Monday Night Football, we have the 3-6 New York Giants taking on the 6-3 Tampa Bay Bucks.
Bucks need to bounce back, and they always do.
Yep, I got the Bucks. Please, Antonio Brown, please come back. So we picked the same primetime game, so we got to pick a tiebreaker. Do we want to do Cowboys Chiefs, or do you want to do like a random one?
Or like Bengals Raiders.
We both picked the Bengals.
Then Cowboys Chiefs.
Cowboys Chiefs. All right, let's do it. Go Chiefs. All right, that's it, everybody. Go check out our TikTok. We just recently surpassed this. I don't know why I'm bringing this up when I mentioned TikTok, but we recently surpassed 4,000 downloads. I checked the Simplecast today.
Oh, really?
And we're over 4,000 downloads.
Let's go.
And we're coming up on 4,000 followers on TikTok. So check us out on everything. We'd really appreciate it. Jeopardy's coming back soon.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Peace.